Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to look at something truly foundational. And I mean that quite literally. We're unpacking source material that lays out an actual blueprint for building a more respectful, supportive, and inclusive community for individuals with disabilities. Think of it like an architectural guide, right? Whenever you construct a building, you absolutely need a plan to ensure it's structurally sound, safe, and welcoming. Well, the exact same thing applies to our society. If we want a community where everyone can thrive, we can't just cross our fingers and hope it happens. We need a clear, intentional blueprint for disability dignity. So let's unroll these plans together and see exactly what it takes to build a community that truly stands the test of time.
Right out of the gate, we have to completely redefine our concept of a village. So break the fourth wall with me for a second. Look past your front yard and think about your own neighborhood. We so often define our communities by the streets, the property lines, or, the local coffee shop next door. But the source text pushes us to see the true philosophical core of a community. A real village isn't defined by geography. It's defined by inclusion and equality. It's a place where people with disabilities aren't just residing nearby, but are actively viewed as a valuable, indispensable part of the collective whole. If they're separate from it, well, it's just not a true community.
Part 1. A Blueprint for Equality, laying the foundation for a unified community.
Before you put up walls, and before you ever put on a roof, you have to pour a foundation that is absolutely immovable. In social terms, this foundation is just basic human decency. You must treat someone with a disability with respect, dignity, and equality. This is literally the concrete slab of our community blueprint. You simply cannot build a functioning, thriving society on a foundation of inequality or disrespect. If this baseline doesn't exist, the entire structure is compromised from day one. It is completely non-negotiable.
Part 2. Building on Respect, What to Avoid and What to Embrace. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we need to filter out. Moving from the foundation to the framing of our building, we have to actively filter out destructive behaviors that act like rot in the wood of our community. Laughing, name-calling, or treating someone as less than. These are dehumanizing actions that the source material specifically warns against. We absolutely have to reject them. Instead, we must build upon a load-bearing truth. A disability does not reduce someone's value. Understanding that inherent value is what keeps the walls of our community standing strong against prejudice.
Part 3. Creating inclusive spaces. Opening the doors to shared village life.
To truly open the doors of our community, we have to look at the energetic pulse of an active village. Include them in community events. Let them go to school. Let them work if they can. Let them participate in cultural activities. Notice that repetition? Let them, let them, let them. It's a really powerful rhythm in the source text that highlights the absolute necessity of opening doors in our shared spaces. It's not just about allowing access, right? It's about actively facilitating participation in the very things that give life meaning: education, livelihood, culture, and celebration. They are part of the community, not separate from it. I wanted to leave a beat of silence right there because the weight of that message really needs to sink in. True integration means zero separation. You can't have a vibrant, unified village if a portion of your population is locked out of the town hall, the schoolhouse, or the marketplace. They absolutely are the community.
Part 4. Supporting individual needs. Moving away from assumptions.
Don't assume what they need, because everyone's disability is different. You see, making assumptions is a massive structural flaw in any community. When we guess what someone needs based on a stereotype or just a generalized idea of a disability, we completely strip them of their agency. For example, assuming someone needs physical help opening a door when they actually just needed clear signage, that is a total mismatch of support. Because every individual's lived experience is entirely unique, guessing is a major roadblock to true inclusion.
So the crucial point is, what's the alternative? It's just 5 simple words. How can we support you? According to our source guide, this is the single most powerful question a neighbor, a colleague, or a community leader can ask. It replaces assumption with curiosity. It replaces arrogance with empathy. When you ask this question, you are basically handing the architectural pen back to the individual and saying, hey, tell me how to build this space so that it works for you.
Part 5. Leading by Example, the Influence of Elders on the Next Generation.
Let's move to and see how this builds. Building this future relies on a beautifully simple 3-step chain reaction. Step 1,
Elders, the adults, the parents, the leaders, model respect in daily life. Step 2, children are always watching, right? They observe this adult behavior and they learn what is normal. Step 3, the next generation sustains a unified, inclusive community. The atmosphere adults create directly dictates the attitudes of the youth. If kids see inclusion as the standard operating procedure, they won't have to deconstruct prejudices later in life. They will simply maintain the strong, inclusive structure they inherited.
The ultimate goal of this entire framework is a unified community where every person is valued as an integral member of society. We aren't just talking about being polite here. We are talking about achieving a deeply unified society where literally nobody is left standing outside in the cold. Every foundation poured with respect, every door opened with inclusion, and every question asked with empathy leads directly to this exact destination.
Which leaves us with this final, vital question to close out today's explainer. Is your community a unified village for everyone? Take a hard look around your own life, your workplace, your neighborhood. Does it measure up to this architectural blueprint? Are the doors truly open? Are we asking how to support each other rather than just assuming? It's a challenging question for sure, but if we want to build a world defined by dignity, it's a question we have to answer together. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive, and I challenge you to take these blueprints out into your own village today.